What's going on, everybody? Gleez here, and we're going to talk about Deadshot. And I've been playing the new patch for over a week now, as I have been playing on Xbox One, and they got the patch early. Now, all the matches that I've played have been with Deadshot, Darkside, and a little bit of Green Lantern, but mostly Darkside and Deadshot. And I've been doing fairly well, but just because I'm winning, does that mean that Deadshot's actually still good? Well, we're going to talk about that, and we're also going to talk about some adjustments that you can make as a Deadshot player if you want to continue using him in this current build. So sit back, because this is going to be a good one. Alright, so what they did to Deadshot, they toned down some of his damage and the scaling off of the knee. So basically, like, his corner combos, for the most part, got toned down quite a bit. His shot, straight shot, as you see here, is toned down. It's a lot slower. They also toned down his meter build on whiff. So it takes him, like, almost double the shots to gain the same amount of meter as he did before the patch. Now, my take on this is that one or the other would have been a sufficient nerf for Deadshot, but they actually coupled them together, and I think that it really hinders the character. But there are some things you can do if you still want to use Deadshot and try to play him at a high level. Now, one of the things about the zoning that they did tone down, notice on whiff, it takes a lot longer for him to recover. Now, if you have a character that has a decent forward dash, you can actually dash in between bullets and cut down space relatively easily in this new build. And we're going to check that out right here. Alright, we're already in. So what, 3 shots it took? So really, Deadshot's only going to be able to build meter worth of 3 shots before somebody gets in. What this leads you to have to do, basically, it hinders you in a lot of ways, but the biggest thing that it really changes is the zoning dynamic with Deadshot. But here's some of the adjustments that I made with him. So instead of using the straight shot, I've been using the trick shot quite a bit more. Alright, you can shoot it out. It's a mid. It recovers relatively quickly. When it whiffs, the recovery isn't as long. Alright, so this is really what I've been using to zone people. Alright, is this. Now, also, when you're full screen, this can be clashed. Alright, so at the end of a match or on the second health bar, right, what I would be using for chip in that instance is this, because that still cannot be clashed. It doesn't take off as much chip, but if I don't want someone clashing, I'm not going to use that. Alright, I'm going to use this. Alright, there isn't as much pushback on this either. Alright, so that's the trade-off that you're going to get. Non-clashable, chip damage if they block it, or they might get hit by it. You never know. Alright, but that's typically what I'll use on the second health bar so they can't clash. Now, the straight shot being slower, alright, what it really changes up is the timing on the mid-screen combo. The corner combos are relatively the same. They still work all the same. The timing is slightly more strict, but they still work all the same. The damage is toned down because they scaled all damage off of the assassin knee. Alright, so all damage off of that is scaled. So the damage is less, but the combos are relatively the same. The mid-screen combo is a lot more difficult to land and connect. Now, you can land it, but because the startup, even though it's on hit and you get the good recovery, the startup's a little bit slower, so it's a lot more precise to land the second wrist cannon shot in your back 1-2 up 3. And I'm going to show you what I mean right here. Alright, notice I missed it. Missed it. Missed it. Alright, landed it. Now, 229 it takes off. Alright, so what I've been doing that I feel like is a relatively decent trade-off to get the combo 100% of the time, I've been going with wrist shot and then with the trick shot, because the frames are a little bit more forgiving on that. You don't have to be as precise on your combo, and it only takes off like 1% less, if that. So we're going to take a look right here. Alright, so that's 221. All right, so the damage trade-off isn't really all that much different, but that is so much easier to land. And I just find that it's a lot easier for me to land that and use that mid-screen rather than using the double straight shot. But that's just me. If you can land a double straight shot all the time, you know, stick with it. All right, so right there I recorded the combo, and you're going to see that typically in the other build, you could get that combo and get a straight shot in and be safe, but all it takes is for someone to jump over you. All right, and you are unsafe. So you may be thinking, let's do this, right? All right, let's do that. Bong, full punish. All right, and all someone has to do is react to it. All right, full punish combo. All right, so after the back 1-2 up 3, if it's blocked, you basically don't really have an option. All right, so just keep that in mind. I mean, you can play some mind games where if someone's jumping in a lot, you can throw that trick shot out there, but just know that people can meter burn through it and they can punish you. All right, typically what I would do if it's blocked, all right, I'm just going back. I'm just retreating. All right, maybe I'll throw out one of these or a straight shot as I walk back and, you know, try to keep him out. All right, but just make sure that you know that. All right, so you can't just, you know, willy-nilly just be doing this stuff like you were before. All right, that don't work. All right, it doesn't work. All right, so make sure that you're aware of that. Now, going back to the character select screen, we'll just talk about a few characters that I find that Deadshot has a really tough time with in this new build. Black Adam, he can actually jump in the air and he can punish your straight shot, all right, with his dive kick. Very difficult matchup. Black Adam definitely wins that, and it was a matchup that Deadshot kind of struggled with in the previous build, but he does a really good job now in that matchup as Black Adam. Catwoman, of course, she can jump from about half screen and punish your projectiles, all right, with her jump too. Really, really good. Make sure you're aware of that matchup. And now Dr. Fate was a matchup that really was in Deadshot's favor. He could shoot his wrist cannon and block before, you know, Fate could even hit him with the projectile. So they would look like they were going to trade, but Deadshot would recover, block, and it was a really bad matchup for Dr. Fate. Now the roles are reversed. All right, so with Deadshot, it's really difficult to shoot your projectile and block his projectile because the recovery is so much longer, or I should say the startup is so much longer on the straight shots. Typically, you're going to trade. Dr. Fate does more damage. He also builds a lot more meter. Now, the meter build is extremely important here when we look at a lot of these matchups because the meter build is really what allowed Deadshot to do a lot of good things. All right, when people get in, he's able to push them away a lot of times and reset the neutral and force them to have to come back in. Now, when he's not building trait, or, you know, if he's not building meter, he's not able to do that. All right, so a lot of these matchups where he did a great job as far as zoning goes are somewhat depleted. And then in matchups where now he's going to be trading with other zoners, so Starfire, for example, all right, he's going to build much less meter if he's using his straight shot. All right, so the trade-off is always going to be in the other zoner's favor for the most part. So he's one of the weaker zoners. When you really want to play Deadshot in this new build, you want to play him with a little bit different of a mindset. He's a zoner from, you know, full screen, but once the screen is cut to about here, all right, it's very dangerous to zone against a lot of characters. At this point, you almost have to play Deadshot like a footsie character, which he doesn't do very well. All right, so back one is a relatively good low. It's got some decent reach. All right, but if you look at the move list, so we're going to go back one. It's a 14 frame startup. So a lot of things beat this, all right, in neutral. So characters like Superman with his forward 2-3. Superman's also pretty tough because he can cut down space through the air on a straight shot like a beast. But I digress. So forward 2-3 will always beat this. All right, it's a very fast startup, the forward 2-3. Supergirl in neutral. All right, our back one too will always beat this. All right, and this is like your main tool. You also have the forward one, all right, which links to this combo. All right, which, you know, it's 15, 150 damage approximately, depending on the character you're facing, which isn't really amazing, but it is a 7-frame startup. So this is going to be your best poke. What I also see a lot of Deadshot players do, right? So like they'll poke and then they'll try to go for this. Now the poke, the down one, all right, is a low, but let's look at the frames here. This is something that a lot of Deadshot players I see don't realize. All right, so the startup is 7 frames. On block, it's -4. The hit advantage is only 7. All right, so a lot of times Deadshot players are trying to land a 14-frame startup after landing something that's only 7 frames hit advantage. So a lot of times as a Deadshot player, you'll poke, and then someone else will poke you back as you try to go for your back one, and he'll beat your back one. All right, and you're like, God, this guy just keeps hitting buttons. He just keeps mashing. Now, his mindset might be that. All right, a lot of players, they don't, I shouldn't say a lot of players. Most online players don't really look at the frames that way, and they're just mashing. They're just doing this. All right, when you're attacking them. And you're getting hit out of, you're getting hit out of down one into this. All right, what you really should be doing is trying to counter poke with forward one. Now it is a mid, it's not a low, so they can block it standing or crouching. But if you're in a situation where the only thing you got is a 7-frame Punisher, right, you can poke them with this and then you can mix up. All right, and go for your combos. And the reason why you can do that with that move and not down one is because the hit advantage is 18. All right, so we're able to land our 14-frame startup and our 16-frame startup off of a landed forward one because our hit advantage is more numbers. You have more advantage. All right, so they can't attack you and poke out of that. Also, you can see that the block advantage is -5, so it's still safe. So if you use this as your poke instead of this, all right, you get a 50-50 that they basically have to eat. All right, so that's really like the change. He basically plays like, you know, he plays full screen, his full screen game with this. All right, once someone gets in, and they're going to get in, all right, they're going to get in, it becomes almost like a footsie match. You got to back up, whiff punish. You can whiff punish, it's a good whiff punisher. All right, counter poke, probably that. All right, now you can counter poke with the down one. All right, and make them respect a low. All right, and if they're mashing, what you can actually do is, go forward 1, 2, 3. All right, so because this, God, I keep hitting forward 1, 2, but the 2's coming out. Since this is only 7 frames, all right, look at the hit advantage. All right, down 1, all right, 7 hit advantage. All right, so we're even, all right, for the most part. All right, 7 hit advantage, forward 1 is 7-frame startup. All right, so he's not going to be able to poke. All right, so if I go down 1, forward 1, 2, 3, he can't poke. So you can condition somebody to stop mashing, all right, by doing this. All right, it is also safe. I'm using air quotes, safe. The last part is a high, so they can crouch it and punish you, depending on the character. All right, so just know that also moving forward. Like Superman can like use his secret sweep, like the down forward 3 sweep under you. But it's somewhat low risk depending on who you're facing. All right, is that combo. So just keep that in mind as well. So if you want to stuff those dudes who keep mashing buttons, you could do that. But this is going to be your better poke because when you land it, you can 50-50 someone. So there's a lot of information about Deadshot. Basically how he's built, how you should really be playing him. Also his jump 1. All right, you can anti-air somebody best with his jump 1. All right, and then just go into combo. So jump 1, and then it will go boom, jump 1. That, right? That's what it used to be. That was the combo it used to be. Well, let me set this guy up here. So what I actually use now in order to land the air-to-air combo, I do this, and then I use the trick shot. Very similar to the other mid-screen combo, except I just use the trick shot here as well. Cuts down the frames, makes it a little bit easier to land. That's what I've been doing. But a lot of times people will try to jump in on you because they know that they can jump in on your straight shot. All right, because it's so slow. So they'll time it or try to time it, but you can kind of bait them. It's really going to take, to play Deadshot now, you're really going to have to be cognizant of where you are in space when it comes to, I'm going to stop him from jumping, when it comes to like this spacing, all right, like right here. All right, you can't just shoot a shot. All right, you're going to have to bait stuff. Every once in a while, you might shoot one. You might pull one of these. All right, you may pull one of those and try to keep them out of the air. All right, but you're going to have to really be aware of your spacing in this part of the screen. All right, you're going to have to bait something out, whiff punish. All right, you still got your quasi staggers, which aren't safe, but you can still use them. But that's basically it. All right, so that's really the, the idea or differences between this build and the last build of Deadshot. And you still have the trait, of course, which still works extremely well. You get the knockdown, you get advantage. All right, but in a lot of those zoning matchups where you're facing a zoner, you're going to find yourself as a Deadshot player having to get in. All right, you're also going to find yourself using this more as just a projectile to go under, other high projectiles. So against like a Captain Cold and other players where you're going to trade with this, all right, because their projectiles faster, they're going to build more meter, you're going to go under their projectiles using this. All right, and that's really, a big change in the meta as far as Deadshot goes. All right, so this becomes more of a factor to evade high projectiles and punish from full screen, and it's super slow. So someone can roll in. You're going to get a lot more players trying to roll in on this stuff, all right, because it takes a really long time to recover. So if you can whiff those, or make them roll in, I should say, and punish their roll-in attempts, all right, you're going to be in a good spot. It's a lot of baiting. It's a lot more thinking. All right, a lot of people aren't going to do well with Deadshot in this current build, I don't believe. He's going to struggle, like just as a character in general, he's going to struggle, I feel like. But that's my take on it. Is he completely destroyed as a top-tier character? Yes, I think he is. As a playable character, can you use him and still, have fun with him and play him? Yeah, you can use him. You can have fun with him. You can play him. Is he a character that I'm going to continue to use in tournament? Nowhere near as heavily as I did previously. Even though Darkseid is my main, I'm not going to use him as heavily in tournament. There may be some matchups I use him, maybe Wonder Woman. I don't know. I have to flesh the matchup out a little bit. Maybe that matchup. But I can't really think of many others, honestly. I'll have to play a little bit more with Deadshot to give you a final answer on that. But my first inclination is to say no. Probably not. All right, so that's it. If you like this video, be sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Also, if you'd like more videos going over tech and other things in the game, my thoughts on different matchups, etc., let me know, because I would, love to do more videos like this. So that's it. It's Gleez signing out. Thanks for checking in, and continue to game strong.